Hello. Did you ever had an idea or project but didn't have the space to do it? That's my situation right now. I have an idea and I also started doing it, but I don't have the tools to finish the project. So, what's the solution? I can build a tiny makerspace at home, but I don't have a lot of space. I can have maybe 60 by 60 centimeters to build it. I also don't have a lot of money. And I have a lot of constraints. I don't want too much noise and I don't want too much smell coming out of my makerspace. Obviously, for most of the things, that's not a problem, but if I put a 3D printer, it will be a problem sometime. So, I need to contain the smell, I need to contain the sound, and I need to have something efficient. So let's start. Let's start by the cabinet. It will be the base from which we will work on later on this project. So, initially I was thinking about building one myself, but I quickly realized it would be more expensive than just buying one from Ikea. So I found this model that is pretty much perfect for my need. I just need something that fits and with a door. Why? So that I can close it and have a lot less noise than if it were open. I can also work with the air, because if I close it, a 3D printer will emit a lot of heat. So I need a way to extract it, but I also can filter the air that exits, so I can have some clean air. I don't have a problem with the smell. So that's the idea for the cabinet. Let's talk about the 3D printer. For the 3D printer, I want a closed one, so I don't eat it by accident, and maybe I can filter the smell more easily. I also want something cheap. It's the Black Friday week, so I found this Bambu Lab P1S at a pretty reasonable price. Then I need to be able to print PETG and PLA, which is the simplest filament possible, so I don't really need something fancy. Other than that, I need a power supply, and I want at least 5 amp and a multimeter, which pretty much everything will do it. So yeah, that's for the base of the material. Let's buy everything and wait that it arrives. I did some work, as you can see. I did buy and built the Ikea cabinet, and I did buy also a piece of wood that I sanded, and then I obviously coated with some kind of protecting things, as you can see. And yeah, I did put a power strip and did hook up the linear power supply. Now, in the cabinet, I did put the 3D printer, but it's not done yet. I really want a way to at least treat a little bit of air that come from the 3D printer. So I bought a tiny converter, I don't know how to call it, from USB-C to PNW with a tiny switch, a fan, and a carbon and HEPA filter. Now I need to find a way, more like 3D print something to hold everything together and have some nice air coming out of my little cabinet. So let's develop that. As you saw, the print didn't go well. Yeah. It isn't that problematic, but I also messed up the dimension. As you can see, I have here the fan, and it doesn't fit. I tried to cut some pieces to see if other dimensions were right, but yeah, I only managed to take apart a bit of the piece without cutting myself. And well, when I cut myself, I think I learned my lesson and I just designed another one. There were other problems. I don't like how small this piece is right there. So I did print another one. And I also want to print a tiny poop shoot, so let's print that. Now I have my new piece. This one, and obviously the poop shoot. The poop shoot just take the tiny filament that it purge and put them in this. It's useful because the 3D printer, well, the back of the 3D printer isn't that accessible, so if the shoots come on the side, it's better for me. I just took a print from Maker World and yeah, I just launched it. And then I did this part, which is just a holder, and now that we have it, we can do some testing. I can put my tiny fan in it, and it fits. And I also can take both of my filter, putting the HEPA in front and the carbon behind, so that the HEPA take the big chunks, while the HEPA is used only for the fumes. And yeah, now I just need to find a way to fix it. Well, I already did. As you can see, I have some tiny holes that I didn't make, but were there from the beginning. So I printed this part to fit snug, and yeah, I just have to take my tiny adapter, put it in, also use a tiny wall adapter, and it worked. I have my tiny filter. Now I can fix it with screws, but I realize it will be a lot easier just using double-sided tape. So now I can put it in and see how we can continue our tiny project. With that last piece, we almost finished the project. I will use it to put the filament dryer beside the 3D printer, so I have some storage underneath it. Nothing too fancy, but still it's useful. With that, I have a prototyping bench where I can do most of the things. The only thing missing is a soldering iron, but I don't want to have that here because of the toxic fumes. So I will be doing that where there is proper filtration and ventilation. But beside that, I have a lot of stuff. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to do something similar and need the 3D parts, I will put them in the description, and I will also put the link to buy the PMW fan controller and the filter. I will put some image so you can admire the final result. It's nothing too fancy, but it's really practical, and that's what I wanted. Something that I can use, that is practical, and that's mine. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice evening, and see you next time.